ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಏನು 4 ವರ್ಷದ ಪದವಿನ ಭಾಳ ಹಠಾತ್ತಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಹೇರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಉಳಿಸಿ ಸಮಿತಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಘಟಕದಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ವಿರೋಧಿಸಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ, ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವಿದನ್ನು ವಿರೋಧಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದ ಪದವಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಇದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ವಿರೋಧಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು 1 ವರ್ಷ ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿಯಾಗಿ ಓದಬೇಕು. ಇವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 100ಕ್ಕೆ 75ರಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳು, ಅಂದರೆ 75% ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳು ಖಾಸಗಿ ವಲಯದಲ್ಲಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಪೋಷಕರು ದುಬಾರಿ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ನು, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟೇಷನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಓದಿಸೋಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅನಾವಶ್ಯಕ ಇದು ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಇದು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರ ವಿರೋಧಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಭಾಷಾ ಕಲಿಕೆನ 4 ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಬದಲಾಗಿ 2 ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಇಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಭಾಷಾ ಕಲಿಕೆ ಕೇವಲ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಗೆ ಸೀಮಿತಗೊಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಭಾಷೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಉನ್ನತ ಮಾನವಿಕ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳು, ಉದಾತ್ತ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಡ ಹೊಡೆತ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ. ಇದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀತಿ 2020ರ ಭಾಗ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಈ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ವಿರೋಧಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಮೂರನೇದಾಗಿ ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದ ಪದವಿ ಇವರೇನಿವತ್ತು ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನರಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ಸು ಕರಿಕ್ಯುಲಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇಂಟರ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನರಿ ಇತ್ತು ಇದನ್ನು ಸರ್ವನಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನರಿ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೆಫೆಟೇರಿಯಾ ಅಪ್ರೋಚನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಮಗ್ರವಾದ ಜ್ಞಾನ, ಸಮಗ್ರವಾದ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾರಕ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ವಿರೋಧಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದ ಪದವಿನ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ತರ್ತಾ ಇರೋದೇ ಕೆಲವು ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಏನಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು, ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಲಾಭ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ವಿರೋಧಿ, ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕ ವಿರೋಧಿ, ಜ್ಞಾನ ವಿರೋಧಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಬಡವರ ಪರ, ಗ್ರಾಮೀಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶದ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದ ಪದವಿ ಕೋರ್ಸು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಜನ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರು, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಸು, ಮಾಜಿ ಉಪಕುಲಪತಿಗಳು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಲಿಂಕನ್ನು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದ ಪದವಿಯ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದರ ಲಿಂಕನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಿ ಹಾಕಿ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸಿ. ಇದರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಪಕ ಜನಾಭಿಪ್ರಾಯನ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರು ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮಗೇನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದ್ದರೆ, ಸಲಹೆಗಳಿದ್ದರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಸಂಪರ್ಕಿಸಿ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆಯಾಗಿ ನಮಗನ್ಸೋದು ಇವತ್ತು ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಉಳಿಸಿ ಸಮಿತಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಘಟಕದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನಗಳು ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಉಳಿಸಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದ ಪದವಿ ಏನು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀತಿ 2020ರ ಭಾಗ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಇಡೀ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರೀಕರಣಗೊಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಜಾಗತಿಕ ಸರಕನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಹುನ್ನಾರನ ಸೋಲ್ಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಾಗಬೇಕು. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮನವಿನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. Good morning, good afternoon to all of you. This is a very welcome discussion on the issue of new education policy in general and the recommendation of 4-year bachelor degree in particular. I will sort of make a few observations on the new education policy and the justification or otherwise for the 4-year bachelor degree. Also, 4-year bachelor degree has several dimensions. It also talks of 3-year bachelor degree, 1-year master program, 2-year master program. So there is a multiple durations for different degrees for master and undergraduate. But there are preliminary points which I would like to share with you. You are aware that this is the new education policy 2020 is not an ordinary policy. This is a policy which intend to bring or already decided to bring a very, very significant structural and organizational changes in the higher education of a very, very far-reaching consequences. There is no aspect of higher education policy and higher education which this policy doesn't touch upon. It brings such changes in the structure of university system. It brings changes in the duration of the degree that we are taking for discussion. It's talked about changes in the curriculum, multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. It talks about giving a huge emphasis on Sanskrit teaching, language teaching. It also talks about holding a national entrance test for the admission to the university, which is not there at the moment. It take a decision, it recommend the setting up of foreign universities in the country to begin with 100. And above all, it brings changes in the governance at the central level. So there is no aspect which is left untouched. It's a big overhauling of higher education system. Now, I just want to raise one important question, that the present policy was formulated in 1986, and then after 6 years, we developed a program of action in 1992. So the duly recognized and approved policy of higher education, 1986, and program of action of 1992 is the one which has been approved by the Parliament. And so that is the policy that we have. So this policy being a huge change in the 1986 policy as well as the program of action of 1992. Now I want to share with you and make you a little aware that whenever the policies of a significant nature are framed, they have been based on a very detailed study of the higher education system. For example, say between 48, when we got immediate independence, after independence, we had some sort of a policy between 1948 and 1968. Earlier policy was 1968. And then after 1968, we have a policy of 20 year rather, 1986 policy. Now, both this policy, the earlier policy, the 1968 policy and policy between 1948 and 1968 was based on the Radhakrishna Commission. Radhakrishna Commission was set up immediately after independence, and it is Radhakrishna Commission which recommended setting up of University Grant Commission. And the University Grant Commission was set up in 1952-53. It was called University Grant Committee, which was later on converted into commission. Now, Radhakrishna Commission was a very, very exhaustive commission. There were 17 members of the commission. About 1/3 of them were from foreign countries. There were several sub-commissions. They circulated about 2,400 questionnaires. They visited several universities, had a discussion with the Vice Chancellor, faculty, department, and there's a report, and that report led to setting up of a policy in 1968, a very detailed report. If you look at the Radhakrishna Commission report, after every chapter is based on the data that they have collected and consultation they have undertaken, and then they gave a recommendation. Similarly, the Kothari Commission of 1964-65, which ran into 2 volumes, was based on very detailed study of the higher education system. And the Kothari Commission, in fact, led to the policy in 1968, also partly, but basically in 1986. Now, if you look at the Kothari Commission also, they had, I think, 21 members. Again, 1/3 of them were from foreign countries. There were 21 subgroups, subcommittees. They also consulted all stakeholder universities, college students, and after having got a detailed insight into the education system, they recommended. So 86 policy, which brings significant changes, was based on the detailed study of the higher education system. The three-year degree program was brought by a Kothari Commission after a detailed study of the different degrees, which vary in duration in different states. Now, by comparison, when this new education policy talks about overhauling of higher education, this is not based on the study of the system of higher education. If you look into the history, that initially in 2014-15, a committee was set up under the chairmanship of a cabinet secretary who retired from the cabinet position. He was a single person, then he was assisted by one more person. When there was a criticism, they associated one academician who was specialized in school education, and that committee submitted a report to the government. Government itself was very uncomfortable about the report, so government worked again and improved upon it, and they brought out a small report in 2016. But that was not also enough. So to give a creditability to this policy, they set up a committee under Kasturi chairmanship, and brought a couple of members as a member of the committee. And this committee also doesn't. This committee was required to submit a report within 6 months. They did not have enough time to study the massive education system in this country. You must understand that we have not studied the higher education system since 1964-65. There are small committee here and there. When I was the chairman of the higher education UGC, I had conducted 8 studies, and putting it together, I brought out a report which formed the base for the policy in the 11th plan. The 11th plan is called as the education plan, but it was based on the study of the system to the extent possible. But this committee is not based on the detailed study of the higher education system. They have used data here and there. Basically, the foundation of the knowledge base of this committee is that they have borrowed heavily from USA. We will see that as I share with you, you will see that it is based on the imitation of the from the higher education system in USA and Europe, assuming that these are the good principles and good practices. Because they have succeeded, they think that we will also succeed here. So that is why this committee's recommendation on based on ideas and assumption that these are the good practices which are given good result in USA, so therefore they will also give good result here. And therefore, to that extent, it's very scary that good ideas have been put forth. This should be done, that should be done, this will be this change, this will be that change, and there is no factual base. You must understand one more point before I go to the main topic of 4-year degree, is that the commissions, Kothari Commission or Radhakrishna Commission, they studied the system and they found out that this is good, so they strengthened it. Which was not working, they modified it. So by bringing a policy, you take the existing education system one step ahead. You cannot talk of replacing the entire system. You cannot do that. You cannot entirely reimagine the system. You cannot build up the re-education on imagination and borrowing ideas. You go step by step. You learn. There is a policy of 1986 and 1992 program. They should have studied it and seen that what has worked and what has not worked, and then strengthen which is good and then modify which is not given the result. But this committee has not done that. It is a self-wisdom of the committee member, drawing from the Western experience and much less from the study of the system. So it's a very scary thing as to when you put into it what will happen in the process of modification. Now let me come to the main recommendation of the committee, and including the topic that we have put up for discussion, 4-year degree. There are 4 or 5 important changes that this committee has suggested. One is that we have an affiliating system in this country. There are 3 types of university system that we have. One is affiliating system, that you have a university, there are colleges affiliated with the university. Colleges by and large are engaged in the undergraduate awarding degree teaching, and the universities are in postgraduate and PhD. There are some postgraduate department also attached to the colleges, but primarily the postgraduate and PhD program, bulk of it is in the universities and undergraduate in the colleges, which are affiliated. So it is called affiliating system. America has, and we too have, in some cases, a unitary university system. Now, unitary university system, which is in, for example, the USA, is that there are no affiliated colleges. The undergraduate program, postgraduate program, and PhD program is run by the university. And therefore, the size of the American university is very big, 50,000, 20,000, 30,000, because there are undergraduate students. The advantage of unitary education system is that the same best of the teacher also teach the master and PhD as well as undergraduate. So for example, Amartya Sen will teach not only the postgraduate and PhD student, he will also teach the graduate. So it should not benefit from the best of the teacher university. It has an advantage. Because it has an advantage in USA, the committee recommended to adopt the unitary system here also. I'll come to that, what is the problem with that. Then we have unitary system education universities also here. There are central universities like JNU or Hindu Banaras University, which have to say at some level there is undergraduate program, but mainly master and PhD. But basically we have affiliating system and limited extent unitary system, where graduate, postgraduate, undergraduate is taught, but on a small scale. And then we have degree awarding right, institution with a degree awarding right. IITs, IIM, they are institutions of national importance. They have been given degree awarding right. So we have these three categories of the universities in terms of what we teach, whether we teach undergraduate, postgraduate, or PhD in the university or in affiliated colleges. Now, this committee recommends that since unitary system is good in USA, we should also bring it here. Now, it's very, there is no, they have not studied the affiliating system in the country. How universities are created in the universities in India by, if you have a state university with so many affiliating colleges, then we have created universities from the affiliating colleges, de-affiliating with the university in creating university. For example, Andhra Pradesh, they have decided to have university in each district. They de-affiliated the colleges and the university is made out of the de-affiliated colleges. This policy also suggests that you de-affiliated the colleges and form what is called cluster university from those de-affiliated colleges, and then also give some degree awarding right to some best of the colleges. And the university will be left without the colleges, and that university will also then convert it to unitary university. The state university without affiliating colleges will also conduct an undergraduate program, postgraduate, PhD program. So the model suggested is the unitary university. Now, apparently it seems to be a reasonably good model because America has it. But you know, there are advantages and there are disadvantages. What is the advantage of unitary system is that, you know, same good teacher also teach undergraduate and postgraduate. So there is advantage. But we have developed affiliating system. They have developed unitary system in USA. We have developed affiliating system. Now, the committee should have suggested that if we adopt the unitary character, then we should modify it and adopt it the way we can adopt it. Our affiliating system has an advantage. And that advantage is what? That we have affiliating colleges which are located in large villages, small town, medium town, and also large cities. So it is more inclusive. It gives easy access to the student. You know, student from the villages can take a bus and go to the college in the small town or in a village. Easy access and cheap. Now, the new education policy should have suggested some modified form of affiliating system. There are models. You know, you could, for example, I have suggested, and there are others who suggested that the advantage of the unitary system is that you teaching by a good teacher. So we can do that. For example, through a distance mode, the best of the teacher in the university or in best of the colleges could also teach to the student in the small town and large village colleges. So student benefit from best of the teacher. So this is a via media. A teacher from the Bangalore University could give a lecture online and the student in a small college in a large village could listen to you. You could make CDs and distribute it to the student, but retain the affiliating system whereby you get the advantage of teaching by the best teacher in the small town colleges, but at the same time you have easy access to the student. But since this committee has not studied the affiliating system, they only borrowed immediately from USA. They have suggested the unitary system. They should have pointed out the via media that what are the advantage of affiliating system, what are the advantage of unitary system, how we can take the advantage of unitary system, but also retain the advantage of affiliating system. So this is as far as the unitary system is concerned. Let me come to the second point, major suggestion about which you have put up for discussion, that is to have 4-year bachelor degree. Now understand that concept. The concept is that they have introduced multiple degrees and diploma program, and the concept of entry and exit, multiple entry and exit. You understand that. You have to understand in a full context. The recommendation of the committee is that the concept of multiple entry and exit means that if you are in the first year of graduate and if you want to live in the second year, you can get a certificate or 1-year diploma and you can go. Your credit will be deposited in the credit bank. You can come after 2 years and start your second-year education. So you complete second year, and if you want to again live and take a job or do something, then you will get a 2-year diploma. Your credit will be again deposited in the credit bank. So you can go with a 2-year diploma. You can again come back and finish your bachelor of 3 years, and you can get a bachelor degree of 3 years and go back, or you can continue for a 4-year bachelor. So there is a multiple entry and multiple exit. Well, there is an advantage of it to the sense that, for example, you know, if you fail in BA final, graduate final, after spending 3 years, the ultimate qualification is only higher secondary. You don't get anything. Now, in this new system, at least you get 1-year diploma or 2-year diploma or 3-year degree. So that is the background that you must understand. But why they have introduced 3-year bachelor and 4-year bachelor? There is no explanation, because they have not studied. You must understand that there is a 3-year bachelor. You get a bachelor degree, you go. You can stay 1 year more. You get a 4-year bachelor, and then you can go. But also they have brought 1-year postgraduate. Those who have done bachelor for 4 years, their post-graduation master program will be only for 1 year. Those who have done 3-year bachelor, they will have to have 2-year postgraduate. There is also integrated 5-year degree. So, in other words, they are recommending degrees and diploma of different duration. 1-year diploma, 2-year diploma, 3-year bachelor, 4-year bachelor, 1-year postgraduate, 2-year postgraduate. So they have brought, in a way, they have brought a hierarchy and gradation. Now, let me go back to a question. There is no reason in the report as to why they have brought this multiple duration bachelor program or master program. Even in B.Ed also, they have brought 4-year B.Ed now. In addition to 2-year B.Ed, is a 4-year B.Ed with a Sanskrit as a language, one of the languages. Now, the committee is not able to give a reason as to why they are changing the 3-year and bringing the 4-year, because they have not studied the system. They have not pointed out the disadvantages of 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2, the 3-year bachelor and 2-year master, because the reason is different. The reason is to serve the elite student who goes to USA. Those students who do undergraduate here and go to USA require 4-year graduation program. Then you get the admission in the first year, MA first year or MSc first year. At the moment when the Indian student goes to USA, they have to spend 1 more year before they get into the master program, the MSc or MA or whatever. Now, in order to make this easy for those students who goes to USA, which require 4 year, graduation, they have brought this concept of 4-year bachelor. It is mentioned in the report. I am not saying out of my mind. They say that this will be convenient for those students who goes to US. But they are not worried about what will happen to the student here in India by having a 4-year bachelor degree and by having a 3-year bachelor degree. So you can see that they have not studied the system just to meet the interest of one particular section of the student. They have brought the concept of the 4-year bachelor degree. Now, what are the consequences of this? The consequences are going to be very bad. Kothari Commission brought 3+2, 3-year bachelor, 2-year master. Why? Because there was a lot of variation in the degrees, duration in the degrees. There were somewhere 2-year junior college degree and 2-year master, 2-year bachelor degree. In some state, in the college, there were a pre-university and 3-year bachelor program. So there was a huge differences in the name of the degree as well as duration of the degree. And to bring an uniformity at all India level, Kothari Commission rightly brought 3-year bachelor, 2-year master program. Because it is also the duty of the central government, education being in concurrent list, to bring some sort of uniformity in the degrees and the education so that a student from south to north or north to south can make use of the employment and other opportunity and even take higher education from one university to another university. Now, there is no reason why we have brought the 4-year and 3-year. My feeling is that just to satisfy the need of the ED student who goes to America, they brought this 4-year degree, but in order to justify, they brought the concept of multiple entry, multiple exit, and 3-year bachelor. Now, what are the consequences? The consequences is that you are creating multiple duration degrees, same degree with a multiple duration, which Kothari Commission rejected and brought an uniformity. You are going back to it without realizing the consequences of it. The consequences would be that student will enter into the market with a multiple duration bachelor. Imagine a student with a bachelor degree with 3-year and a student with bachelor degree with 4-year. Who will get employed? The employer will always prefer the bachelor who is with 4-year. So there will be a hierarchy. This hierarchy will bring discrimination also. Those poor students who finish their bachelor in 3-year will not get employment, low preference. Those who will get 4-year will have more priorities. So you are bringing hierarchy, and along with hierarchy, you are bringing discrimination in the system, which is very wrong. You cannot have this kind of thing. Secondly, as Rajshekhar and others have pointed out, it will make education expensive for the poor student. A poor student, in order to have a 4-year degree, will have to spend additional year and spend. So I think there are no advantages whatsoever of bringing the 4-year degree, bachelor degree. Also, same is the story for master. There will be master with 1-year duration, there will be master with 4-year duration. And they will also be treated differently for market, and they will also be treated differently for in education institution. Those with 1-year master and a 4-year bachelor with research will be preferred more than those who have a 2-year master degree and 3-year bachelor degree. This is a new caste system that we are creating in education. And without any reason, without any analysis of the system, that 3+2 has problem. So I think in the craze of imitation from the outside, because good things are there and they are work there, we are bringing here because we have not studied the system. It requires hard work to study the system and then come with a finding. So I think I am in favor of you that you should oppose this, and we should retain 3-year bachelor degree. We should retain 2-year master program. There are other problems with the policies. For example, they have suggested national test for admission to the university, state university, and the colleges. Today's system is more flexible and simple. A student from village goes to a college and asks for admission. Principal give admission if the seats are available. Now you want a all India test for that. the purpose is in a way affecting the marginalized section and poor section. I do not know whether that is the extension that stop the flow of the higher education of this section, because education in any case has been confined to the higher caste. Why these sections are coming into higher education? So national test will reduce the access to the higher education. Similar thing is bringing the foreign university here. More expensive higher education. Will the poor student will be able to go there? There will be competition for the domestic colleges and the university, but the poor student will not be able to go there. They will depend more on the state university. So you take private policy for privatization. It takes that, you know, it talks about that we are against the commercialization, but you are retaining the same thing. You are allowing the self-financing colleges, and there are no steps. Only there is a policy of inclusive social justice, but suggesting that the government should do, state government should do, and colleges should do. But you are allowing the existing self-financing institution where the fee structure is very high, which has affected the access to the poor student. I have worked out access ratio for the student in the government colleges, private aided, and self-financing colleges. So if you take all these steps, these are going to affect the access to higher education. This 3+4 degree national test, which is proposed, inviting the foreign universities. These are all going to affect the admission to the poorer section and marginalized section. And it is not idea only. The central government has already introduced the All India test for the central university, so that the admission will be centrally determined now. So what I am trying to bring out to you is that I think the major problem with this policy is that this has been developed without studying the higher education system, unlike Kothari or Radhakrishnan. And let me share with you one important point, that we have not studied our higher education system since Kothari Commission in 1964 and 65. It is 73 years that we do not know much about our system. We have not studied it, and during that period, a significant change has come in higher education, privatization, and many other aspects have come, about which we do not know. We are operating partially in an ignorant zone about our higher education system. When I was the chairman of UGC, I had suggested to the minister, and they had set up a committee. In fact, the committee was set up under Govardhan Mehta chairmanship to study the entire higher education system. But in 2014, there was a change of government, so that committee remained on the file. So without studying since 73 years, we have not studied the higher education system, and you are suggesting a significant changes in higher education without studying, only on the basis of the good ideas, reimagination, self-wisdom. I don't understand this. Therefore, the people are becoming scary, and they do not know once you put this into practice what will happen. So I think, but we cannot do anything. It has not been discussed in the parliament. It has not been discussed with CAP committee. If you look at the consultation with a lot of pride, say that we have discussed with Nagarpalis and municipalities and Panchayat, and only with the 8th state. So it's not also democratically discussed, and there is no feedback, good and genuine feedback from the educational community and stakeholder. So there are issues. These are some of the thoughts that I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much that you are taking initiative. Thank you, Rajshekhar.
Thank you, sir.